Welcome back to Amateur Game Review, and this is the moment that all 10 of our subscribers have been waiting for, the AGR Awards for Game of the Year. Roll that title. If you've made it down to our video, then you've already watched 10 or 15 Game of the Year videos, and you already think that you know what Game of the Year is. So why do we even have a Game of the Year video, Randy?
Because we can.
Exactly. I'll probably beep that. Anyway, we're going to do a little bit different because we can. Exactly like you said. We're going to do some nominees. We both came up with 5 nominees apiece. Actually, we came up with more than that because a few of our ideas obviously overlapped for Game of the Year. So we just kept naming games that we thought should be considered for Game of the Year until we came up with 10. We're going to give you those 10 nominees, and then at the end, I'm going to tell you what my Game of the Year is, and Randy's going to tell you what his Game of the Year is.
Spoiler alert, some of his picks suck.
They're Games of the Year. None of these games suck. None of them.
You'll see.
All right, the first nominee for Game of the Year, and to be honest with you, this definitely isn't my type of game, and I didn't play it that much, but my wife played like 500 hours, so I know it's amazing, and it's all people talked about for like 4 months, and that's Animal Crossing.
500 hours?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. People play that game a lot. I honestly think the reason why this game was such a huge, wild success was just the timing of it. You know, right when COVID came out,
yeah,
Animal Crossing came in to save the day. Really, I mean, that's all people did for months.
Thank you, Animal Crossing.
All right, let's move on to our next nominee. Randy?
My first one is going to be a VR game, which surprises me, because I'm not on VR. I'm not big on VR. I thought VR was going to be very gimmicky. I still don't even have one.
I could tell that was your first time ever playing VR. I brought it over to your house, and just for hours, Randy was like, "Did you see that? Oh my god, that's amazing." No, I'm watching you play on a flat screen. It's not in VR. I mean, I've played the game. The game is amazing. It absolutely deserves to be on this list.
Yeah.
For many reasons. But I will never forget the time that I watched Randy stand on a balcony and toss everything that he could find at random pedestrians and tried to make it into a window. He took a paint can and tried to throw it at a homeless man. Half-Life Alyx is amazing. Do not watch someone else play it. That isn't fun.
It's not. But I had a great time, as much as Zach didn't. But yes, and actually that's the first Half-Life game I ever played. I know the other Half-Life games are like epic and people get nostalgic when talking about them. But the other two, they introduced a bunch of new mechanics that are still used today for this. I think they're doing the same thing with VR now.
I don't know what I expected really when I grabbed Half-Life Alyx. Honestly, it was one of the reasons why I picked up VR. I picked up my Oculus. Yeah. And, but man, just an absolute great game. Like, they really nailed the mechanics. Like, I've never felt like first-person shooter, like, controls, nothing is ever as smooth as that game was.
No.
Like, it felt amazing. Like, I've never shot, like, a pistol sideways before in real life, but I imagine that's how it should feel.
Why not?
I don't know, but every time for some reason, when I grab that game, every time my wrist just goes a little sideways, and I'm like, let's do this. Nominee number 3. The next game I'm going to announce as one of my nominees for Game of the Year, and you're going to say, that didn't come out this year, and that is because it's Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered.
Oh my god. I didn't know we put remasters on here.
Yeah, well, they added some to it.
Okay.
So I'm counting it as this year. And the reason I'm counting it as this year is because I didn't play the original. I played the heck out of this game, and it is amazing. Like, one of the best RPGs I have ever played, and I just honestly couldn't give it higher marks. Like, it is just amazing. Combat is fun, story is deep. It's everything you want in a JRPG. It's humongous, and the world is...
So it's turn-based?
No.
It's not?
It's not turn-based, no. Spoiler alert, that won't be Randy's Game of the Year, because he didn't play it, obviously.
Nope.
But I did, and it's amazing. One of the best JRPGs.
Well, since we're talking about remasters, might as well bring up Demon's Souls. It's a great game.
It's an amazing game.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for Demon's Souls, I was going to put Mortal Shell in here. And Mortal Shell should be an honorable mention.
Okay.
But it is a smaller game. It's much. Plus, it's only $30. So if you haven't played it, you should buy it right now. It's worth the money.
I can't argue that logic.
Yeah. And I can't remember who made it, but the development team only had 7 people on it.
Yeah, it was very small. I can't remember either.
Very small team. So for the resources they had, the manpower they had, they did an amazing job. But
But
it's a Souls-like game.
Randy, I thought we were talking about Demon Souls.
That's exactly what I was about to get to.
All right,
You know what else is a Souls-like game? Demon Souls. And they're better at it.
Also a great point.
So yeah, I don't even know what I can say about this game that people don't already know. Like,
I know something I can say about this game.
What?
This is the first ever Souls game I beat before Randy did.
I'm still salty about that.
Yeah.
I was in jail, so I don't think it counts.
I count it.
If I wouldn't have been incarcerated, I would have beat him to it. Just know that. Side note, it's the first Souls game he beat without my help.
Well, that's just because I couldn't get it. I had to ask Google. You know what? Going off of the Demons theme,
All right.
the next nominee, Doom Eternal.
Never been a Doom fan, but you are, so go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first picked up Doom Eternal, anyway, I loved 2016 Doom. Absolutely loved it. Great game. When I picked up Doom Eternal, it's not like Doom 2016, and it felt weird, and I had a really hard time like getting into it. There was story that I didn't understand, like why there were so many cutscenes and stuff, and then the combat felt weird. But after I got into it, and like the combat is almost like a rhythm game. Like it's really interesting the way you got to do it. You have to like juggle like shooting and running in and meleeing to get ammo to refill and stuff. After you like get that like whole aesthetic of the game, amazing. Doom Eternal is
amazing.
Yeah, it's seriously, it's so much fun. It's such a fun game. Plus the soundtrack. Soundtrack's amazing.
I actually did play that one for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just not a Doom fan. All right, well, I guess our next nominee is going to be IGN's pick for Game of the Year, Hades, which you told me down when you got it. You bought it for Steam.
Yes.
You're like, hey, download this right now. And I kind of got his Steam account on my PC.
Yeah, we want to share the Steam account, sort of, yeah.
So, which is weird because he hasn't even played it yet.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. Every time I went to play it, he was already playing it, and you can't play at the same time when you share an account. And I was getting so aggravated. And I remember this. I kept saying, Randy, download Hades. I've heard it's amazing. And like he just wouldn't do it. And then like all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it is good. Can't stop playing it. I can't stop playing it at all. I've noticed, Randy, I've logged in 3 times to try it. This game that I bought. No, I can't play.
But yeah, it's definitely a roguelike. I beat it, like 27 times, I think. But it only takes like 20 minutes to beat. You know what I'm saying? It's
once you get good at it, yeah.
Once you get good.
Yeah. You texted me like 6 times in the same night. Like I woke up to text and it was like, beat it in 27 minutes. Beat that by 7 seconds. Beat that by 1.5 minutes. I'm like, I don't know if you were expecting a response at 3 a.m., but you did not get one.
I was just letting you know.
You know what's weird is like every roguelike, like on paper, it's like everything I hate about a game. Like I hate starting over and when I die. I like progression. But everyone I've ever played is amazing, honestly. I'm sure there are bad ones. I've just never played a bad roguelike.
Yeah.
I love Rogue Legacy. I love Dead Cells. Like I'm sure I'm going to try Hades soon. I mean, I bought it. And I'm sure it's absolutely amazing, like you said.
Yeah, it was. Should probably play it sometime.
I'm going to. Let's move on to the next nominee. All right, this next game is actually one of the earlier games I played in the year, and it has absolutely stuck with me, and that is Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah.
You didn't care for it, did you?
No.
It was right up my alley. Just an amazing Metroidvania, and like the more you played it, the better the game got. The art style, the graphics, amazing. The combat, fun. The exploration, really good. And the story, even though there's not a lot, there's no talking, but there's not a lot of dialogue either.
Just looking for an owl the whole game.
Yeah, but it's
what?
heartfelt.
No, it's not.
So heartfelt,
No.
dude. The first one's so sad too. Like how a game with no talking can be so sad is just like.
It wasn't sad at all. You found an owl, or you're looking for an owl. You found her.
You killed his. You know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. It's a nominee for Game of the Year.
All right, so our next nominee, very controversial when it first came out. The Last of Us 2, great game. I don't know if it's still as controversial today as it was when it first came out.
Yeah, it is. Especially with the Game Awards that just happened a couple weeks ago. It won like 9 awards and people got really upset about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that tweet I had with that game? It was one of Neil Druckmann's posts, but I commented on it, saying that I loved the game, and
Oh, and he like commented back or like liked it or something like that.
He liked
retweeted it.
Or he liked it, but it had like 30,000 mentions and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was Randy's 15 minutes of fame.
No, like it wasn't fame because we get so much hate of me just liking the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And I mean, I get it. Like negativity sells, and like all these, like that's what people want to do is hate on shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. But
it sucks that you can't hardly talk about something without getting, so much hate towards you.
Yeah, like your PC video, great video.
Thank you.
But you got a lot of hate.
That's why you can't find it. So anyway, let's move on to the next nominee, and my last nominee, and that is one of the most recent games I've actually played, and that is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Ooh.
The best way to sum up this game is if you played Spider-Man, the 2018 Insomniac Spider-Man, and you love that game, you will love this game. It's not much different. It feels almost more like a little add-on side quest. It's not a sequel, more of a spin-off, but like it is so polished. It is just.
Well, it's one of the first games for PS5, so I'd hope it would be.
No, like it's not even just that. It's like the mechanics are polished, the story is polished, the graphics are amazing, the combat is smooth. It takes everything that 2018 Spider-Man did and makes it just a little bit better. And the story with Miles and stuff, and growing up and doing Spider-Man his own way, amazing, just absolutely amazing. If you get a PS5, grab that game.
All right, our last nominee, Final Fantasy VII.
I know you pretty well. I'm going to go off on a limb and say this is his game of the year because I think he saved the best for last.
Sure shit did.
Is this really your game of the year?
Yeah, why not?
Tell him why you love it then.
What else am I going to say? It's a Final Fantasy VII remake. I've been waiting on this game for 20 years. And they didn't drop the ball. Like I thought, I was worried about it when it first came out. And I'm still worried about how they'll handle the future entries of the game. But this was amazing. It's the way that Final Fantasy should be going. Now I'm like somewhat like 14 was online. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
13 sucked. 15 was You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like the last few entries have been whatever. The 7 remake was amazing. So like now like they hinted at Final Fantasy 16 coming out. Pumped. And like if it's anything like the battle system, like the direction they're going, it's the right way. So you need to keep going with that. Don't try nothing new. Stick with what you know, and just make another amazing game.
This. I want you to know right here. This is how gamers should be. Did you hear the passion in this man's voice? He started talking about Final Fantasy 7. He was like, I'll talk about 15, I'll talk about 16, I'll talk about 13, I'll talk about 12, I'll talk about 11. It's just... It is a fantastic game. Yep. And I completely understand why you picked it as your game of the year. I almost picked it as my game of the year. And in fact, I told him before we started that, hey, my game of the year is this. But I lied.
Dick.
My game of the year is Demon Souls. I have not liked any... I almost said that wrong, people. I love Souls games, but I'm terrible at them. But I've not liked any Souls game as much as I liked this one, and which is really weird because they didn't change anything.
This is a lot easier than the original.
That's why I like it, though.
I didn't like that.
I could beat it. I beat a Souls game, and that's exactly why it's my game of the year.
Shut the...
It was so much fun. It was beautiful, and for like 2 weeks straight, all I did was play Demon Souls, and I loved every minute of it. Plus, I think, honestly, a lot to do with it was like I tried for weeks to get a PS5, and when I finally did, like I was so excited that like that's
all I'm doing.
That's all I did was play Demon Souls.
I mean that's a good choice, but I don't like the fact they made it easier, and I think it's more than the.
I don't think they made it easier. Nothing the original. I think it was just the original was easier than what we're used to now.
The remake is easier than the like Dark Souls 1 and 2, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the original Demon Souls on PS3 was harder than...
You think so?
Yes.
I felt like it was about the same.
And it's not something they do on purpose. It's just... I think just the transition from PS3 to PS5...
You know what I think has a lot to do with it, honestly, now that you say that?
Oh, I was going to tell you why we get interrupted.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm done now.
Being able to roll in any direction helps.
Yes.
the frame rates being so smooth helps.
That's what I was gonna say, Zach.
But whatever. Game of the year, Demon Souls. You heard it here. Zach's Game of the Year, Demon Souls. Randy's Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. I mean, if I had a PS5, it might be Demon Souls, but I wasn't chosen.
All right, guys. If you made it this far in the video,
They didn't.
yeah. But if you did, we truly, truly appreciate you. And thank you for watching this. You know, any little bit of your support helps. Please comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You know, stay in touch with all we do. We're a couple of wild and crazy guys. Yeah, none of that's true, but we do love video games, and we do love talking about video games, and we love when you talk about video games with us. So, until next time, guys, we're Amateur Game Review. I'm Zach. This is Randy. See you in the next video.